Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to oxygen not included, shall we? Alright, so you see we're building the supercomputer, and it's telling us that we can no longer do the research we want to do because the supercomputer isn't there. It says it's missing a research station. So we can go ahead and just turn off that research for agriculture for now because, well, there's no reason to do that. And let's go down and see if there's anything else that we want to get going. And we have basic sanitation done. I think we could certainly... filtration is fine. Portable gases, any other low-level stuff that we want. Okay, so honestly, I'm going to just wait a moment. I could build, some medical stuff, I guess, if I wanted to. That's fine. I'll go ahead and get the pharmacology researched while we're waiting for the supercomputer to be built. Now, I've been receiving so many awesome pieces of advice from viewers on this series, and I really appreciate it. I have a basic, understanding of the beginning of this game, and I'm trying to share that knowledge with you, and so much of that is what I've acquired on stream, and I'm going to continue to do that, and, take the knowledge that people have been given as just even more nuanced advice about how to be successful in this game. So, we do have a new dupe that we can get, and let's go ahead and go to dupe skills. Actually, no, we don't. We just have a skill point and a summary. And Lindsay here has a skill point, so she is good at farming, and we're going to... actually, no, she's better at farming. So, when you have people who are kind of on the fence, some of the skills that are really, really good to take are just carrying, regardless of what this dupe is going to be specializing in, because this just gives them more strength in carrying capacity. And then even research is nice to help people become smarter so that they learn skills faster. So because she's kind of all over the place, I really feel like yeah, I'm just going to give her strength so she could carry a little bit more, and we could give her a hat if we want to, and that's fine. And then we have our colony summary, which you can take a look at and see how we're doing. Okay, so while we're finishing our supercomputer here, and you can see our people are just, working on stuff and farming, etc. Here's a few bits and bobs of advice. Number one, farm tiles can be used as floor tiles. So I didn't technically need to build this tile here. I could have just replaced it, and you can use farm tiles as the floor. I'm just incredibly cautious. So like this crumbly and sand and everything like that, I just kind of built this as a floor so I wouldn't have to mess with this above our water source. And just know in the future, you can use these as a floor tile. Also, the gap like this is fine, but sometimes in a panic, it could cause a problem. So what we could do is just select the ladder, push B to copy it, and we can just kind of build walkways across with ladders that will still achieve the airflow effect that we're going for, but also make it so that if there's an emergency, that nobody falls and there's no disaster for the time being. So we can put these ladders like so. And then, additionally, we have a bunch of wires running around, and if I look at the power overlay, exposed wires, people don't like to see them. It hurts decor, which can cause stress. So it's a good idea to hide your wires, but also we don't have to worry about it now, but it's a nice thing to think about building separate circuits so that you don't have an overload. So currently, like this wire right here can only hold 1,000 watts. And so if we have too many devices that are running that use powers on this linked circuit, then we could fry this system. At the beginning of the game, you don't have to worry about that. But as you get bigger, it becomes a problem. You can get better wires later that can carry more current. But also, it's nice to just make, instead of snaking wires indefinitely, to make smaller circuits. And we will start doing that as it becomes necessary. So let's just kind of let them continue. And I'm actually going to push P and turn on the priority. And I'm going to expedite. I'm just going to use the number 7 to expedite the building of the supercomputer and wiring it. Actually, let's expedite hooking up this bigger battery too. Another thing that's useful about priorities is that we want to make sure that we go to the options cog in the upper right and we click enable proximity. So it helps your dupes choose close tasks to them instead of wandering like super far away to do something. And so if they've got priority errands that are the same priority, they will say, oh, you know what, this one is actually closer, so let me do that one. And it just reduces some walking time. So let's go ahead and do that as well. I have one diffuser, and you see it's actually not reaching max pressure. We have some... We're not at 2,000 here in terms of our pressure. So we're going to build another oxygen diffuser. Oxygen diffusing is fantastic, of course, because, well, we're trying to give our people some nice breathable air. And you can see, like, in this section, it's wonderful. It's less wonderful up here. And then down here at the bottom, it's the CO2 has sunk down there in our base, which is fine. We're digging this out to create more space for the CO2. But we want more oxygen diffusers because you want to keep your interior of your base at max pressure and just be pumping in as much oxygen as possible, because high oxygen environments cause germs to not be able to thrive. If you have low oxygen environments, like low pressure, we can run into some issues with germs and some negative forces thriving in our base. So even though you only need 1 per 5, we should have more than one. So I have one here, I have one here. And you want to keep them apart. Also try to keep them low so that they're, pushing the air up. But because I have one here and one here, we might want to have one up here somewhere. And just staggering them around the base. So I'm going to actually build another diffuser. I'm just going to select it and copy it and say, you know what if we just put one right here? It's fairly close, but I don't want it to be so high up. I'd rather have it, be here. And let's put it right next to the computer, and then we'll just grab some wiring. Like that. Now they're telling us we have some unrefrigerated food, like these mush bars, and we definitely want refrigeration, but we haven't researched that just yet, so we have to wait. We need that supercomputer. They're having a great time. They're eating. Scheduled downtime. All right, so you can see we have about 42,000 calories here. And we've got lots of pickled meal. We've got mush bars. We have meal lice to turn into pickled meal. And we are turning those mush bars into mush fries. Power has run out, so we didn't quite generate enough power there, which is sad, but we'll get there very soon. And you can see our chef here working on the mill, and we would like cooking to be a higher priority, but they're doing the generation, which is also important. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the supercomputer is now done. And what we could do is go back to research. And I would actually like to say, all right, so we were trying to research refrigeration. We were just talking about that. So let's turn it back on. And another thing that I think is a good idea, we have this bathroom, but this is like the worst possible bathroom that you could have. And we might want to make a nicer bathroom. Well, not might. We definitely want to make a nicer bathroom. And we do that by using... We can make full-on sinks instead of the wash basins. And we can make, in plumbing, we can now create lavatories for people to go to the bathroom in a cleaner fashion. But this requires plumbing. And so we would need to use a liquid pump to draw in liquid through the pipes and then have pump the water go in and then the pipes go out. We've already created this kind of water source down here, which actually, you know, if we turn on the germ map, it's not the end of the world. This water hasn't become... This mush bar is down here, which is a little upsetting, but this hasn't become the end of the world just yet. But we're going to probably make it the end of the world where we put our waste. We do have this polluted water, though, that we could actually use that. Let me see what we've got here. We have polluted oxygen. Yeah, and there's some slime lung in there. I'm not really in a hurry to excavate that. So let's finish. I'm going to go to priorities, and I'm going to kind of boost the priority up on cooking even further with Gene and say they're doing this generate power, which the issue is I turned the priority way up on this, and the priority here, it's actually higher on that, but because they started doing this first, they're going to do this until the battery recharge threshold has been met, which it's not going to be met. So we could build another wheel if we want, or we could start researching alternative power solutions. We could also probably get rid of these basic batteries and just keep these two jumbo batteries. Okay, so they're digging this out for another water source. And let's just pretend that we were going to create, you know, a bathroom up here. And we can just start penciling that in. Another tip that I got that's kind of cool is if you have rooms that are not part of our airlock, you could just prop the doors open so that people could get through faster because it slows them down. So we could just open this door, for example. All right, supercomputer on. We're doing advanced research. We still have plenty of pickled meal. All right, so we need to dig this out to make this possible. Now, I'm going to pause the game, and I'm just going to start doing something very similar to the structure that we have here, which would be, okay, let's go ahead and say plumbing. No, actually, medicine. We'll put 1, 2, 3 sinks, and then 1, 2, 3 lavatories. And then we can, do this and enclose this space. So we have the ghosted bathroom that we want to build right here. Actually, you know what? If I want them to use the sink, I can't put the wall like this. It needs to be a regular wall. So we will go ahead and cancel that and just put in a wall like that. Get airflow everywhere. This diffuser is not on because it needs algae delivered. All right, and we're done with research. Insufficient oxygen generation, it says. Sure. Hopefully they can get this baby turned on. We have plenty of algae. That's not a problem. It's just an issue of people doing that particular job. There they go. And it's on. And if we look at the overlay here, our oxygen situation is reasonable. Now, one thing we could do, if we wanted, was close off the top of this base. So we could say, you know what, nobody's going up here. There's no reason to push our oxygen up that far. So we could close it off. I'm not going to do that. I'm fine with this because we want these plants. So I'm going to harvest all of these plants that are up here. And any plants that we can get to at the moment. Okay, good. Harvesting plants in the wild like this, the mealwood, it is just nice free passive food. They just have to go up and do it. And now we're getting stuff cooked. And we are working on researching refrigeration. And let's see. I want to make sure that... I don't think I need this. Let's open this door. Okay, they've now built this lavatory. And so I was talking about plumbing. We'll do the plumbing in a moment, but basically if we go to the plumbing overlay, you could see that there is green and white pipes. So there's input and then there is output. And, you know, you could see that it tells you in the overlay green is output. So that's like the dirty water from our sinks and toilets. And then white is input. And then orange or yellow is the filtered output if you have like a gas filtering or something like that. So we're going to need to build ourselves a liquid pump. And it's going to be in the water, obviously, and then it's going to be like shooting water to anything that we want plumbed. So we have this. I'm going to actually just kind of build this down so that we can put the pump nice and deep in the water. It does need power, however. This guy's not feeling too good. He's got food poisoning. We got to get this refrigerator online. Actually, the food poisoning is probably coming from these terrible bathrooms. So that's the other thing that's nice about these bathrooms that we're building is that they're much more hygienic. This is telling me it has no job to do, so we can tell it to make, you know, some more mush bars if we want. These are saying I don't have any more light. So, in general, that's actually another great tip. Dupes like light. They work better with light. So, we could build some more lights to help us here with these jobs. Put a light here. And we could even build a light here. So, we could go ahead and start, like, trying to throw in a ceiling. Now, my farming area doesn't need like a super high ceiling, so I could just do something that's reachable for these dupes. That's too low. Here. Try to build like this. So we could drop in some lighting and run the wires through the tile. If we wanted to make this a greenhouse, we would need to enclose it. We would need to build a farming station, but I'm not like rushing to do that. Okay, no research selected. Good. I'm going to wait for a moment, I think, on research. We are doing, let's build our refrigerator and get moving in that direction. We could do internal combustion. It's pretty good. Yeah, so next I'll get internal combustion going, and then we probably want to think about getting a little bit of basic automation. So, yeah. Deodorizers would be good as well. So much fun stuff. So much good stuff to get. I'm going to do this, though, for now. I'm fine with that. We could also try to get ranching online, but nobody knows ranching, so it's not the top priority. So, once this is done, we go power, wire, and we can just go like this. And we can also take power over here. Now, this is an insane circuit that we're building, and we will adjust this later. But for now, go ahead and do something like that. Excellent. So now we're going to try to put a light in to help with these plants that require illumination. So the crops are wilting because there's no light. So the light is done, but we need them to finish the wiring. And look at this. We got a skill up from Gene here. Now, Gene is our cook, and we can go ahead and bump them up so we can get a spice grinder. I don't really care about the spice grinder, but it helps us make a kitchen. And I'm going to do this just to make Gene even better at cooking. And now we can also choose a blueprint, and we can get another dupe. This dupe is good at construction but can't do attacking, and that's not a big deal. This one is good at ranching, but I don't like mouth breather at all, so we're going to take Amari, and we're going to give this bed to Amari, and we're going to give this table to Amari, and we're going to check our schedule. And that's fine. Amari can be on that schedule. Sure. Great. So now we have 7 dupes. And we are working on finishing the lighting here. Oh, and let me look at the priorities for Amari. Sorry. Amari, I would like you to focus on building is great. Lindsay is going to be our kind of shipper. You can actually do farming, too. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to put Amari on supplying and storing as well. This will just help us get our base tidied up a bit. You can see that this storage bin, we were organizing stuff, but we're going to make some more storage bins that are just for anything so that we can tidy up our base. Okay. I would like to start digging this out a little bit more, if they don't mind. And let's go... Oh, I keep forgetting to do this. Let's build our refrigerator. There we go. Actually, speaking of research... Let's go ahead and do food repurposing so we can make a kitchen. Here comes the wire. Let's go, people. They're getting there. Almost. Oh, they might not be able to get to this. All right, we got to dig this out. There we go. And let me dig this out. Let me look at the power. Looks like it's not quite there. Oh, derp. It was almost there. It was too... There we go. We're going to have to help them out. Okay, great. Our fridge is done. So we're going to say, I want you to store mush bars, mush fries, pickled meals. We don't need to refrigerate muck root. The lice can go in here as well. Berries, that's fine for now. And nutrient bars. I don't think we have any, but whatever. There you go. See if that'll help. Can they get over here with this ladder? They can. Almost there. Actually, maybe not. Come on. Can you make it? Yes. We finally did it. Okay. So now we can deconstruct these ladders. So I built this scaffolding so they could get the wire. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What happened? Oh, I deconstructed the ladder, which deconstructed the wire. Ouch. There were two things on the same tile. No problem, no problem. Let's finish that. Let's get that light back in. There it is. We got the light. Perfect. Okay, so we did a lot here. We were just doing some like kind of tune-up, but we built these bridges to get across these platforms for emergencies. We have another clean water source happening here. Let me build a ladder. We are going to build a pump so that we can plumb our new and improved bathroom. We got a 7th dupe. We got lighting online. We now have refrigeration. We finished our supercomputer. And we are doing beautifully. So everyone, I hope you're still finding this series to be useful and fun. And I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your tips and advice on just how to make this a more approachable, comprehensive, and effective guide for new players so that they can start to get into this game and enjoy it. I'll check you next time. Take care.